Sleepytime Tales with Michael Dreyer.
A fleet of comically small cars pootles up the steep slope of Harrowdown Hill. Washed over by the silk-smooth light of a full moon, the flotilla stop at the very summit of the hill. From the boot of each car emerge thousands of clowns, Harrowdown Hill becoming a seething, writhing tangle of clowns. King Bonzo is dead, and now his grieving painted subjects must hold a clown's moot to elect a new clown king. The four candidates are Bubble Squeak Nose, Humpty Giggles Wick, Stretchy Clive, and Purr Peter. Just like witches at black masses, the clowns gather in silence, a silence broken only by an occasional honked nose or droopy tin whistle. King Bonzo reigned the kingdom of clowns with an iron fist. Any subject who irked him was likely to be doused with acid from the king's lapel flower, or drowned in a vast custard pie. They say he grew tyrannical after his clown queen divorced him and the pair were locked in a bitter custody battle. The four clowns who would be king assemble beside the burning corpse of King Bonzo and make their pledges to the clown's moot. Bubble Squeaknose promises to provide a new fleet of cars with more comfortable boots. Humpty Giggleswick vows to pass safety regulations for custard pies. Stretchy Clive pledges to solve the handkerchief-length conundrum. Meanwhile, wily young Purr Peter uses weasel words to not promise anything at all. Once the four candidates have spoken, the 13 members of the Brotherhood of the Honking Nose go away to choose their new king. The Brotherhood of the Honking Nose return, and the four candidates tumble over one another in excitement. An elder clown steps forward, his long shoes honking as he wades through the mass of eager jesters. He reaches into his robe, pulls out a rubber fish, shakes his head and throws it into the fire. He reaches into his robe, pulls out a comedically large anvil, shakes his head and throws it into the fire. He reaches into his robe, pulls out a dining table set for four, piled high with a festive feast, shakes his head and throws it into the fire. He reaches into his robe, pulls out literal Iceland, shakes his head and throws it into the fire. He reaches into his robe, pulls out an entire human baby, shakes his head and throws it into the fire. He reaches into his robe, pulls out a scroll, unspools it, and reads in a slurred shrill screech.
Silence in the courtyard, silence in the street, the biggest twit in Linfield is just about to speak. Starting from now. All hail our buffoon leader King Purr Peter. Long may he reign.
And with that the old clown throws a bucket of shredded blue paper over his new king. The three failed candidates will be slaughtered by murderous rabbits concealed inside top hats, and their bodies encased in a tomb of jelly. Purr Peter is dressed in the sacred patchwork cloak made of the noses of his forebears. The Brotherhood of the Honking Nose read the sacred pledge with Purr Peter, who enunciates each spoonerism and malapropism with great gusto. Then a nominated elder steps forward. He reaches into his robe, pulls out an ornate Art Deco wardrobe, shakes his head and throws it on the fire. He reaches into his robe, pulls out the sacred jelly crown and places it upon his new king's head. The jelly crown wibbles regally in King Purr Peter's flame-red hair. And the Brotherhood of the Honking Nose hope that their new king will be the one to finally overcome the treacherous mimes and mummers who worship that devil the vacant emperor.